Beautiful day, my friends. How are you? How are you today? Yesterday, as we could see, the 10 minutes goes by very fast, and there's so much to cover. We're just going to jump right on into this where we left off yesterday. And what we were doing yesterday was just kind of explaining the overview of what's going on. And yeah. And so today, what we're going to do is talk about a lot of the key things are is you've got to understand what you're changing to know what you're changing it into. Is that correct? You can't just all of a sudden just say, hey, I'm going to just go ahead and just start this new thing over here and disregard the old one. The way everything is set up right now, all governments work together. So a single government, no matter what government, can't just all of a sudden say we want to be independent of you all and expect that to be possible. Okay, the other governments wouldn't allow it to happen. Which government in particular? Ooh, possibly the USA would be the ones that go in there and say that's not going to happen because of the banking system, and we'll leave it at that. So it's a very, very complex situation that we're dealing with here and talking about. We can't just all of a sudden just say something as easy and tragic as saying, let's change it to a socialist situation and government. We've already got those snakes in our office right now trying to make that happen. So we can't, we don't want that to happen. And if that did happen, it'd be very easy because they've got all those rules and all those past experiences, mistakes and wins to mold a situation that they're looking for now. Be very easy. But again, once again, a government just can't dethrone itself. I don't know why I said it like that, but from the other world economy and the other systems that are already in place, agreements with other countries through economics, through a lot of reasons. So that's the broad view of that. What we'll do right now is we'll take it down into a smaller form so it's easier to comprehend and explain as an example. And we're going to use America. And there's many states in America that want to secede from the Union. It's happened in the past and it's happening right now today. On the West Coast, there's a part of Northern California, Oregon, and I believe Idaho that they all want to kind of just take a parts off of each one of those states and form its own state. And that's a little bit more feasibly possible to do because you're just changing and adding a state into an already existing country. So it wouldn't really be that difficult. But down, say, in the South, where Texas is at, there's been people for years talking about how people want Texas to secede from the Union completely and be its own country, much like the Civil War was doing. But Texas be its own country. And there's people that spend a lot of time and effort and go out there and try to tell people that it would be a good idea, but it would be absolutely impossible to happen. Because if Texas seceded, am I saying that correctly? Seceded from America and became its own country, how would it protect itself? How would it protect its borders? Wouldn't it be simple for America just to come in and run over and take Texas back? Or wouldn't it be easy for Mexico all of a sudden just to jump to Texan borders and overrun Texas? Texas doesn't have a military. It's got the federal government backing it up. But you say the National Guard? National Guard's a federal government agency. So if Texas succeeded from the government and became its own country, you'd say, oh, Texans have all the guns and they could protect themselves. That's not a It's not a government or an army to overtake jets and tanks from from the north or the south. Texas would be overran instantly unless it got backing from the UN or this type of situation, which we're only using it as an example instead of a theory. So you see, if we use Texas as that example, it's the same thing with America changing its government, then expecting all the other governments around the world to accept it, because you have different trades. I got a little tongue-tied here, so let's move it to the next spot. So when all these governments are working together, it's all about economics, transferring products from one country to another country, natural resources, handmade goods, stuff like this, right? But the thing is that most people don't understand, though, is that these governments get together and write out these incredible deals so that they can only sell to this country this product, and this country can only receive this product from these countries, so that it all makes money. You've heard stories in America where we send our stuff over to China, and then China touches it and brings it and ships it back to us, and then we buy it. Imagine how much money and time and resources that costs. Why do we do that? It's not to save money. It's not to have cheap products. It's so that their economy can prosper throughout the whole world. All these governments work together. People think that, this new world order, the one world order, is in the future or about to come or on the cusp right now. It's been here the whole time you've been alive, and I don't care how old you are. Those governments have been working together for longer than any of our written history books tell us. They've all been working together. Have they been warring together? Absolutely. And who goes? The government? The ones with the money? The ones that control the laws and the systems and tell everybody what to do? Or is it the taxpayers and the serfs that go to war because they're told? You see, these governments, they're all so this is why this is possible, what we're talking about of having a new system in America. It's actually possible right now in the first time in our known history. Because all governments at this particular moment throughout the whole world, the people are screaming, we the people want to be in charge of our own destinies. We're tired of having anything from an overlord to a king, which today is May 5th, and there's a brand new king being coronated today. The coronation is today. And but they've got plans, and we'll see what they want to do and see what they have planned. But there's rumor that, people want to have a little bit more say of what's getting ready to happen. But there's our governments throughout the whole world are also just puppets, not the players, not the presidents and the people that are making the laws and running the laws. The governments themselves are puppet governments. It's all just a charade to keep a certain group in power. Okay? So again, our 10 minutes is already up, and I've got, 4 or 5 different key points I wanted to talk about. And unfortunately, it was just about trying to show and explain that it's a very difficult thing to just change let's say a first world power government. Okay, it's actually impossible to, without it being an overrun by the system itself already. But with all the governments around the world, it's very possible right now. God bless you, my friends. God bless the world.